Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we're going to be working on my 2006 Mazda 6. We're going to be installing an auxiliary cable. It's a pretty simple process, takes roughly half an hour to do. And it's really cheap. I mean, the parts in total cost me around 14 bucks. I got them both off of eBay. The link to those are in the description below. It's pretty simple to do. This should work for any model, for any Mazda 6 or 3, 2006 and above. If you have a 2004, 2005 model, it's going to be very, very similar, but you're going to need a different cord, and I'll be showing you that later on in the description or in the video. It's just a slight difference. You need to order a different cord because the radios, I guess, changed in 2006. Tools you're going to need: a 10mm socket with an extension and a screwdriver. That's the only two I can think of from the top of my head right now. But anyway, we're going to be going through an in-depth review and in-depth tutorial on how to do this. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so here's the car, and I know for many of you who are gearheads, the first thing you've noticed that it is in auto, yes. The radio is located around right here. Obviously it's in the back of the car. The parts you're going to need is this little extension. As you can see, this is the part that plugs in. Maybe we can get this thing to focus. This is a little extension that just plugs into the back of your radio. And this part right here, that's what you're going to be putting your aux into. Something else you might need is an extension, which you can buy from Walmart for around $2. A link in the one below is for 99 cents off of eBay, which you can just buy when you buy this. Alright, so we'll put the handbrake up. Usually tends to help. And then you're just going to grab the bottom of this. This is a good point. And just pop this whole thing open. Just wiggle it and push it up. As you can see, the whole thing comes out. Now I've got this connected already, but I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this. Now the next step you're going to be doing is get your key, put the car, turn it on or put it on the on position. Keep your handbrake on. And we're going to be moving this to neutral or drive. It doesn't matter. Alright, so I got the car running. Now I'm going to press the brake, put this thing in drive. Now I can take my foot off because I've got the handbrake on. If your handbrake doesn't work for some reason, I just keep pressing the brake pedal. And you're just going to wedge this open. As you can see, lift it from down here and just push it up. Then you're going to wiggle this. Let me disconnect charger. Just going to keep wiggling this thing. Oh. Alright guys, so as you can probably tell, I've got the car running. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the handbrake up, and I'm going to have to remove this part first. Now, the way I like to remove this is by usually getting in the passenger seat and grabbing this from right here and just pushing it up. And I'll show you what's holding it in place, and then kind of wiggle it. There we go. I'll show you exactly what's holding this thing in place. There's, I think, 6 clips, 3 on this side. And I think 1 broke for me. Don't be like me. Don't break this right here. There's 6 clips that hold this thing in place. Now the next step we're going to have to do is taking out this. So the quickest way I found, and I think the only way you can do it, is by first of all removing the gear shift knob. Just keep twisting that until it comes off. And then there's like a small little plastic tab right here that's silver. Right there. I like to grab it, grab the whole thing really good, and push up. There we go. And then since your car is on, this is why I turned my car on, is so that I can put the car in drive or neutral. And I can even take my foot off the brake because I've got my handbrake on. And then you're going to push it even farther down. If you didn't do this, this part would get jammed on right here, and you wouldn't be able to move it back. That's why you got to put it in the drive or neutral. That way you got some clearance to move. Now, the next part is a little difficult. You don't want to tug on this too hard because there is a wire that goes to your cigarette lighter that I'll be showing you guys right here. Now, the trick to this, there's a small little gray tab right here that you gotta press with a screwdriver. Thought I brought one with me. That you just press down with a screwdriver. It's probably gonna be really hard to do on camera. But yeah, you just press down on that really hard and pull on the gray tab, and that should hopefully disconnect it. And now, as you can see, when I press it all the way in, I can just remove that plastic tab, and we can remove this whole assembly. You don't really have to move it. There's still wires connected to it for these to light up and all that crap. There's still some wires, but you really don't have to disconnect those. You can just move it out. And now actually you can move this back to park, and if you'd like, turn the key off. Now, the next part that we're going to be doing is, as you can see, there's a couple bolts right here. Don't take those off. Those will do absolutely nothing to our video. The bolts we're going to be looking for are a little bit above them, right there. Those are the bolts. As you can see, there's the one I told you don't. It's not really important. That's the one we're looking for. That one, the ones above, because that'll help us take this whole panel out. Just get your handy dandy screwdriver and just remove those bolts. There's one. And then we'll do the same for the second one. And there goes the second one. Now, after we've taken those two bolts out, we're going to remove all three of these. And as you can see, that kind of exposes a couple bolts. One right there, a couple screws. One right there, and one I forgot to put back in. Okay. Well, there should be another screw right there on you guys' normal vehicle. I must have not replaced that the last time I did this. Good catch. But we're going to also remove those as well. Guys, now the next step we're going to do is we're going to have to actually get in the passenger side, and we're going to have to remove the glove box. So what you do is basically just take out everything out of it. If you're asking why I keep a flower, it actually keeps the smell nice. Keeps it smelling good in there. Come on, little flower. And simply what you do next is you press on this side and on this side at the same time, or just get each out. And as you can see, the glove box, this is how it was before. Press on that, drop it a little bit. Press on that, drop it, and it drops down a little bit. The next step you're going to do is grab the whole assembly and push outward. Boom. And boom. As you can see, the whole thing just drops down. Alright guys, so after we take the glove box out, if we go to the left hand side, there's our radio. That's our radio right here. All that gray stuff all the way in the back. That's our radio. Now, as you can see though, I'm going to try not to get in your way, there's a bolt right there that we've got to take out. That's why I told you get an extension and a 10mm, because you're going to have to take that bolt off, because it's connecting that frame to the radio. The support frame to the radio. So take that bolt off and try not to lose it, because if you do, it's in a world of the unknown down there. Alright guys, just one thing I want to make you guys aware of before I go and take that bolt from the inside. There is going to be a string right here that attaches. You don't have to take that off, you can. I've just known it's been a pain to put back in. That's why I just leave it dangling over here, because if you do take that, it's going to be At least it took me like 10 minutes to put it back on, so I just leave it dangling there. And let's go get that bolt now. Alright, so I got my drill master in there, onto the bolt. And just gonna loosen that with this thing. As you can see, I've got like a long extension on it. Now, hopefully, as you can see, I've got a drill master with a long extension on it. And oh, there it goes. As you can see, I've loosened that bolt pretty good, and there it is right there. Make sure you don't lose that. Took that bolt off right there. Now, here comes the good part. You should be able to wiggle this whole thing out. Alright guys, so what I did was I went back with my hand to the back of the radio and pushed it out as far as I could with my hand. And then I grabbed it from the bottom and I just yanked the whole thing out while pushing it from the back. So, I mean, I had one hand right here and my other hand in the back of the radio pushing it outward. I can show you, I just had it at the back end of this radio and I just pushing it forward, obviously from the inside though. And I got the whole thing out. It just comes out in one massive assembly, as you can see. And now, if we move this back enough, we're going to be working on the back of this radio. Alright guys, so this is the back of the radio. I can't pull it out that much because of this fastener over here. Now, watch out, if you move this too far, you will disconnect this wire, and that's your antenna. If you accidentally do, I'll tell you exactly where that goes. It goes right in there, that big hole right there. Now, you won't have this. This is that wire that I was talking to you about that you buy from eBay. This wire right here, that's this. I have two of them. I've already installed one of them. What you do is you just simply take this and you just plug it in. There'll be nothing in here. Try to go lower. There we go. That's your antenna. That's a much better angle. There's your antenna that you just put in all the way. Make sure it snaps back in place, or else your FM and AM will be really weak signal. Put it all the way in there and make sure it snaps in place. Just take this and you plug it in there, as you can see with this little thing on the bottom, towards the bottom, and just snap it in place. There's nothing in there. Mazda made this so that you could choose, you know, if you wanted a tape recorder or whatever, you could have put a tape in there. And some people like AUX cables, so you could have put an AUX. So they just gave you the option. They just didn't put anything, and then you can buy whichever set you want, plug it in there. And then what I did was, here's the wire. Look at that wire where it goes. It goes all the way inside, right there. And watch where it drops all the way down here. And it drops all the way down here. So I've already got it down here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassemble everything, and I'm going to keep this, and I'm just going to show you how to put an extension on it. You need a female to male extension, which is the second part that you'll need to buy, because this won't be long enough to go all the way up into your dash, or into your, whether you want to put it right here, or wherever you want to put it. It just won't be long enough, so you need to put an extension on it. But that's pretty much how you do it. I mean, just make sure, if you accidentally take the antenna cable out, put it back in that big hole right there. You'll have nothing in here. You will have nothing, absolutely nothing in here. It's just the plug, and you just take this and just plug, take this and just plug it in there. And then you can put the cable. I don't like it to be seen, so I just try to put it in the background, and then wired it down all the way over here so that it's out of sight. So what I'm going to be showing next is how to put all this mess back together. And then we'll put an extension on it, and we'll see if it works. Alright guys, just really simply put everything back. Make sure you put your antenna cord back in there. And then you just shove this thing back in place. Make sure all the clips on the sides are aligned, and then just snap them in place. You should be able to push really hard without breaking it. There we go, see that? Now that's flush, perfect. And then the bottom, obviously there's screws. That's probably why. There we go. Just give it a solid push, and there we go. Everything's back in place. That's not coming out. The next thing we'll do is we're gonna have to put the key back in, get this thing back into drive so that we can slide this assembly back on. All right, so the car is running. Simply put it in gear. I'm gonna put it in drive. And then as you can see with this thing, it's pretty cool. Kind of move this thing around until you hit it, get it in drive. And then it's just simply a matter of locating where that hole, that's not the right one. There we go. Making sure you align that. Now there is one more thing you've got to do as well. You got to plug in the cigarette lighter so that it'll still operate functionally. It'll still operate when you want to use it. So just simply get that gray connector. Get that gray connector, snap it in place. There's our AUX. We're gonna bring that all the way down. Feed it right there. As you can see, I've got this thing. Now you want to make sure you align this straight. There we go. But you see you've got two little fins. These need to go under, and then you can just pop everything in place. But before I do that, I still got some screws I got to put in. Remember those two screws that went up here? You've got to return those two, and then return the two screws that go in here. So after we've got all the screws put into place, again, we're just going to return this thing, look for that hole, pop it through, put that thing under, and then push. Now we can put our car back in drive. We can put the knob back on. I'll just put that for now. I'll keep tightening it later. Now we've got our other cord. What I'm gonna simply do, I went to Walmart, I got this one. It's a female to male adapter, and you simply put the female one onto that AUX that we got. Don't pull it too much because you don't want to mess up anything we did in there. And then what I like to do is I like to take it out of the, I don't want to drill any holes in the car or anything, which you can do. You can even get it from inside of here and have it come out of your this box right here. But I don't like it. What I just do is I just have it come out of the handbrake, and now what I simply do is I grab my last panel, put it over, grab my AUX cable, if I can find it. Feed it through, and then snap this baby back in place. Make sure all those clips are in, and there you go. Now, I've got it in park so I can take the handbrake off. Now you might be asking me, well, how do I play this thing? It's simple. Let's first of all return all of these knobs back in place. That's too small. There we go. The smaller ones for the middle, and then the two bigger ones you can really put them anywhere. They're the same thing. Just keep twisting them until they fit in place. There we go. Now we've got everything back in place. Let's make sure this thing still works. Should light up. Yep, it's lit up blue, so we still got power to it. Now how you make the auxiliary work, as you can see, you've got FM radio, and then you've got AM radio, you've got satellite navigation if you had the sat nav up here, which is I think for the Asian and European models. You've got the CD, and then you got this button called media. If you press this media button, look what happens. It says AUX right there. Then you can just plug it into your phone and play music. The last thing that I didn't show how to do is put your glove box together. I'll do that really quick. Alright guys, so to put the glove box back in place, it's a very simple process. The first thing we're going to have to do, see those fins right here? There's one on the other side. We're going to have to snap those in place, and those snap onto these little clips right here. Let me move this so that you can get a better view on this. Right there and there. So what we're going to do is we're going to align this right. And then push it hard. As you can see, it snaps into place, and we'll do the same for the second one. Well, that one didn't snap in. And then all you simply do is just move the whole thing up. There you go. That's how you put your glove box back. And now you've got an auxiliary cable that comes from this. As you can see, it's a very cool thing to do. One more thing to note is don't forget to put the bolt that goes to the side. I know it's a little tricky to put back in. But don't forget to put that bolt on the inside and you should be done. So guys, if you found this video helpful, I'm glad. I hope it works out for you really well. If the instructions were a little bit unclear, please do leave a comment in the comment section below. I respond to every single person who comments, and I'll be more than happy to go with you step by step into making sure that you can install this really good and not mess up anything else behind. Please consider subscribing if you haven't. I'm going to be posting more videos just to give you guys a little of what's to come next. I've got a car review that I'll be doing for the 2006 Mazda 6. In general, if you're thinking about buying a used one. I'm also be doing a cabin air filter change, which is very simple as well, and an oil change and just some other regular maintenance. Thank you guys very much for watching.